Hello, Gun Nation. Big Johnson coming at you. We are live. It says we are live. I just wanted to give you that hello, Gun Nation. Big Johnson coming at you because I haven't done that in a while. But welcome to Three Guys Chat. It's going to be one guy. It's going to be me. So make sure, somebody give me a comment. Make sure you can see me and hear me, all that good stuff. A little more difficult when you're by yourself. Just want to make sure I am officially live. Got a little delay, we know that. And we'll give it a couple more minutes because I want to go ahead and start a little bit early. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Haven't seen any responses yet, so hopefully. Yep, the one guy chat. Okay, you see me and hear me. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Hope everyone's doing good this evening. We got some things to talk about. Let's go ahead and get it fired off. We will, let me clear a couple of these things here real quick. Glad y'all are all on and joining. You can hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it. Hello, Fina. Hello, everyone. Ranger. Saw a bunch of you. And I was going to say there's a lot of y'all in here. So sorry, we'll skip the roll call. But I do appreciate everyone being on because we got a lot to talk about tonight. As you know, Langdon Tactical is releasing the Beretta, Optic ready 92, and I think he's going to do the compacts and everything else. So really, if you've got a Beretta 92, he should be able to get you fixed up. And I wanted to know what y'all's opinions were on that. What are y'all thinking about that? Do y'all have Berettas? Are you going to send them in? Because, man, I think that's one of the reasons that and the grip is really not long enough. That's one of the reasons. And of course, the old Berettas, without the Langdon goodies on it. That's one of the reasons I've just kind of been turned off from 92s. But I think, man, that's really awesome that they're going to be able to have carry optic version and get everybody in there. So I think we're going to start seeing more and more of these in the USPSA carry optics games, which is going to be cool. So a lot of people are saying, hello, Tim. Hello, Al. A lot of people are saying that it's looks sweet. Yeah, it's not as low as some that I've seen, but for a 92, it looks pretty dang good. Now, with the SRO, you're going to have that overhang, which we're all aware of. But I think it's going to be a pretty sweet looking setup. Hello, Oz. How are you? Let's see here. But it for the price of the gun, like you can get the gun, and I think you can get the LTT trigger kit, and you can get it milled for I think it's like $1,400, 14 something. So it's not bad. It is cheaper than an Optic ready Shadow 2. So, but it's, if you like Beretta or if you like CZ, it's going to be a choice. But now that's going to bring another gun into the carry optics division. No, you won't. X5 got that market and just wait till Grand Power. Yeah, Bald saying that, but you're talking double action, single action, so we're not really talking striker fire. But I bet you a lot of people get it milled. A matter of fact, I already know two people. One person bought the gun with the milling, and another person already is sending their slide off to get him to do it. So that's pretty cool. Hello, Tyson. How are you? $352 for your slide modified. Yeah, if you've already got the gun, that's not bad. $395 for the upgrade. That's really not that bad because also when he modifies it, he's having to change some parts like your decocker. It's a different one or relieved for where the mount will be, the optic plate. So he has to put some other parts in there to modify it. So that's pretty cool. I've had a lot of questions, and I'm sure y'all have probably asked too. And I've had a lot of questions. What do I think about all the stuff that's going on in Portland and all these other places with the Antifa and the protesting and the vandalizing and all that other stuff and, throwing stuff at the police and just being, crazy people. What's my opinion on that? I hope y'all all know what my opinion is on that, but, I guess they wanted me to voice that. If you're just protesting and you're not doing anything, I don't have any problem with peaceful protesting. But if you're tearing up buildings and destruction of property and vandalism and throwing stuff at police and hell, throwing stuff at anybody, I don't care if they're police or not, and this new little umbrella, clan where they're holding the umbrellas so they won't be filmed or blocking out security cameras. I mean, they know what they're doing. This is a threat, so they know exactly what they're doing. I think this is a time that all the fire departments should test out their pumps and drain the pumps on the fire hoses, because we used to have to, way back when I was young, monthly we had to drain the fire trucks. So we'd get out there with the hoses and drain them. So I think it's perfect time to drain the fire hoses, so to say, and test out beanbag guns, because that's what's needed. If I'm not saying hurt anyone, like permanently end them, but I'm saying if they're going to act like animals and tear up stuff, they need to be treated as such. And hosing them down and beanbag guns will clear that mob. So that is what I would recommend. Let's see here. Yes, I do agree with you, Bald. Let those cities burn to the ground and refuse them any federal help. Let them sort their own crap out. Yes, I do agree with that. Exactly. That matter of fact, that's what I told a buddy of mine. I said, if they're going to tear their stuff up and then ask for federal help, they're smoking crack, because that's not what I would do. If it's a liberal run city and you're letting people run amok and you don't want the police or the National Guard to help out, and you're just letting people do what you want to do, then you deal with it. And that's going to be your tax dollars for your city fixing all that crap, not federal aid or, if a tornado hit, they're going to get disaster relief and stuff like that. That's not what that's about. You sort that trash out yourself. So, hello, Anthony. Yeah, I know, no mics. If you're physically beating a police officer and doing stuff like that and throwing stuff at them, the police officers should be able to do what they need to do to get that to stop. Exactly. Pistol Pete, you're exactly right. They do want the military. They want Trump to make it mandatory to send them in, and they want to blame everything on him. Now it would get cleaned up, and people would start, maybe acting right for a little while until the military went away or the National Guard went away. But you're right. Everything would, oh my gosh, Trump came in here and did this and did that. So everything would be blamed on him for sure. Let's see here. All right, let's get to the next thing. I don't know if y'all follow me on Instagram, but I was able to get one, well, not the first, I'm not saying that, but I was able to pre-order the Vortex UH1 Gen 2. It's otherwise known as the UE. It's the little brick, holographic sight. Looks like this, or well, here's the box. It's actually on a new toy. And the cool thing is, there's your reticle. I'll show you. It kind of looks like that. And at the bottom right here, it has a little bitty triangle right there that gives you your offset and has a 1 MOA dot. But one of the cool things, I think, is it's made in America right there. Sorry, I'm looking in the camera backwards, but it is made in America. So everything is made in America except for the reticle. The reticle is made in the UK, from what I understand. Comes in a nice little box, has a lifetime warranty on it. But if you look through holographic sights before, like the, of course, the EOTechs and stuff like that, you're going to get that grainy look, but you're supposed to look through, not at the reticle. You're supposed to look through the reticle and just have the reticle get in the way of your target. But with my stigmatism, it is kind of fuzzy, which I know about the holographic sights that they are. But it is kind of grainy and kind of fuzzy, but nothing against the Optic. That's my eyes. When I put my prescription stigmatism glasses on, it does clear up a little bit, but it's still fuzzy. So I'm going to shoot it and test it, and I've taken it outside. It's really daylight bright, so it'll crank it on up there. And it does have night vision. I think it has like 2 modes of night visions or 4 modes, but I don't have night vision. So, and it's got like 11 brightness settings. It goes really, really dim and then super bright. To turn it off, you just tap the 2 buttons, or you have to hold both of them at the same time, your plus and your minus. Turn it on, you just tap it, either one of them, and it'll pop on. It does have a toolless battery compartment on the side. Before, you had to use a coin. Now a little lever flips out, and you can turn it and open it. It's a CR123. So it is pretty cool. I've just got to get some time behind it and see what I think about it. So that's what I have. Yeah, and on the Holosun, I had actually ordered. This was back 2 months ago. I had ordered the Holosun 512, which is kind of the brick version of the Huey, and but they're on intergalactic back order. You know, the place was like, oh, we'll have them next week. We'll have them next week. And they kept saying that, kept saying that, kept saying that. And so I canceled my order and ordered this, or on the pre-order, ordered this and got it in. And I've been kind of playing around with it. But the Holosun 512s, they're on intergalactic back order. Nobody knows when they're coming in. Matter of fact, I looked on Optics Planet today or yesterday, and they said 5 to 7 months is their ETA, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. So anybody looking for Holosuns, it could be a while. So, but also I'm glad that this is made in America, and you know, definitely want to support. I try to buy as much American products as I can. I know we all can't be perfect. I'm not saying that. I just try to buy as many as I can. Let's see here. Looks like a lot of them flew by. Vortex Venoms. Yeah, Holosun, Trigicon. I don't like Delta Point Pro. I'm not a Delta Point Pro fan anymore. I've had one of them fail. Anything can fail, but this one was kind of weird. And I don't really think the Delta Point Pro is as clear. But then again, it's going to vary on people's eyes and what they like. I did go out and shoot my first long range. If you haven't watched the video, it's up. I had, prior to that, I had only shot 525 to 550 in my whole life. That's as far as I had ever shot. And so I took the Lancer 308, the heavy metal L30, and I went to the first part of the range, which is 100 all the way out to 800, and it is in 100 yard increments. So the whole range is only 800 yards. I got the Lancer all the way out to 800 yards. At 100, of course, it was first shot. 200 first shot, 300 first shot, 400 first shot, 500, 600. All that was first shot. I think the 700 was the second shot. And then the 800, because I didn't bring my 168s. I brought my 150 grain, and it was super windy. So I had to put a lot of adjustment in the scope. And I think it was like the 5th shot at 800 yards I hit. And then I hit again to confirm it. And then we went to the 1,000-yard range, and I didn't even break out the Lancer because of the wind. And I shot my buddy's AI 338 Lapua, and that thing is a beast. It's awesome. It's the 338 Lapua multi-cal, so you can change it. But he has it set up as 338. I hit 1,000 on the first shot, 1,000 again on the second shot, and then 1,100 was the first shot and the second shot, so that was confirmed. 1,200 was the first shot and the second shot, and then he said, let's stretch it out to 1,600. So at 1,600, I went to the left, to the right, and below it, but I never hit. So my first, or I guess my official best now is 1,200 yards. So that was pretty awesome. So never shot that before, but it was pretty impressive. One of the guys that was with us, when he was shooting, all of a sudden the wind just stopped, and we had 25-mile-an-hour gust, and it was constant at 12.9. That's what the wind was. And he actually hit at 1,700 yards with the 338. So that was his official best, which was awesome. So it took him 4 shots. And of course, my buddy was spotting for him, and it took him 4 shots, and then he was able to hit. So I thought that was freaking sweet. I wish I could have went a mile. But let's see here. That's funny. Okay. Art said he better grab, or going to grab as many BBs as possible before California decides those need to be a capacity limit too. Yeah, and you know, That's really crazy that you say that, Art, because I was telling a buddy of mine that he's from California, doesn't live there anymore, and he would only live there for work. He's from Texas, but he lived there for like 3 years, and he's a gun guy. And I was telling him, man, people in California should buy those 50 cal air gun or those 50 cal air guns. I saw a video where a guy took a 50 cal air gun and shot it through a car door, and I was like, and he was kind of far away. And I was like, damn, that's pretty impressive. So, but again, it's, you're not going to be able to do like multi shots, but I thought it was still pretty cool. Thank you, Ranger. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate it. Yes, and I did put it up it's also on the video. I loaded around in the 308 and something didn't feel right. It just felt weird when it went in. And I know my guns. I mean, I know, what to look for or what to feel. And I looked down before I shot and I saw gunpowder all over the table. And I was like, that's not normal. Something, it felt weird going in, and then I saw gunpowder. So I actually, racked it, the casing popped out, and I was like, gunpowder doesn't just come from nowhere. So I actually took it apart. And when I took it apart, the bullet had, I don't know if it was seated too long. I mean, it wasn't the correct, height, but it actually got into the lands. And so I tried to bang it, just like tap it out. It wouldn't come out. So we had to put a rod together and really hammer it, and finally it came out. But the good thing is I didn't feed the next round. So I did not create a squib and blow the damn barrel up or hurt myself and destroy my barrel. But just shows you stuff can happen that you really, and I think, and what was weird is when I put the video out on our last Three Guys Gun Chat, I was actually talking about I've never had a squib in my life. And, the next weekend I have, or not a squib, but I actually had one come apart that could have been a squib. And I've never seen that. That was super weird. I have had it happen in a pistol. When I put mags in, I don't just push them in, I actually slam them in. And I had a full mag on a closed slide on a Smith & Wesson, and I went to slam it in really, and then just like slam it in and rack it and start going to town. And the gunpowder came out. It was like all over the place. And when I slammed it, that top bullet hit the top of the slide, and I guess it popped the bullet out of the casing. But it was some cheap Blazer brass crap. It was just Full Metal Jacket. And I've had that happen before, but that was weird. Oh yeah, Pistol Pete jinxed me. But yeah, it was weird. Let's see here. Grab some questions. If y'all have any questions, hey, what's up, Ballistics? If y'all have any questions, definitely, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, here we go. That's actually another thing I had written down. Any thoughts on the McCluskeys being charged? Yes, if y'all aren't familiar, that's the man and the woman, in St. Louis that were at their home, and the mob was, breaking down the gate and came walking by and was telling them they were going to burn their house down and all this other stuff. If someone, put it this way, so I was in my house and people were walking down my sidewalk saying all that stuff, I would have done the same thing. I would have been out there with my gun, not pistol waving everyone and not doing that. I would have kept it at the low ready, and, I would have waited for all of them to pass and, just kind of watched my back and then gone on in, because you're just having a rifle out in public. It's not a big deal. It's basically open carry. But, her waving it around wasn't a great idea. However, they were being threatened. You can actually hear, there's one video where you can hear a guy screaming, saying, I'm going to kill your dog. And he's yelling a bunch of crazy stuff. So if you're threatening me, that's the way it's going to be. And I'll tell you what, I think the governor already said, whatever happens to them, he will clear them of any charges that they come up with against them. But they were protecting their property, and they have the right to do that inside their home, outside their home. Outside of their home is still their property, unless the people are across the street or something. So I say they did the right thing. I don't say they did anything wrong except, you know, pistol waving people. However, you know, no one was harmed. So I would have done the same thing, just a little more or a lot more discipline as far as waving stuff around. But you know, you got to protect your stuff, and you should have the right to do it. Hey, thanks, Ohio Gear. Let's see here. All right. I appreciate the $1.99, sir. What long range optics do I use? On my personal guns, I have a Razor HD Gen 2 1-6, and then on my long gun or my 308 Lancer, I have a Vortex HD AMG. God, what is it? 9 by something by 50. I mean, it's a big old, you know, with the shade on it. The damn thing's like that long. It's huge. Those are the nicest scopes. And I have some other scopes. I've got some primary arms and some other stuff like that. But the scope I was using on his 338 Lapua, or he would, you know, that he purchased, it's like a $6,000 scope. It starts with a V, Vertoris or something. I think it's Vartoris. I'm not familiar with that stuff. I'm a very newbie, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know all that stuff and pretend guy. If y'all know me, I'm a straight shooter. I don't bullshit anybody. I'll just tell you the truth, and I'm not familiar with that, but it was freaking nice. But what was crazy, you know, it was the heat of the day. It was like 1:30, and man, we were getting like a crazy mirage. I mean, it was just mirage and bad. So I think if it would have been cooler, we would have had less mirage and maybe been able to hit more. But you know, we were going on out there, and then his spotting scope is a Swarovski, and it will go out past 2,000 yards to see targets. So it's pretty impressive spotting scope. But that is his forte. He's hardcore into that. I'm not. Like I was saying, I'm kind of a newbie at that stuff. So he was just introducing it to me, so to see if I would like it, and I really like it. I will say this. What I was super impressed with and having a lot of fun with was probably from like 400 yards to like 1,000 yards. After 1,000 yards, it was fun, but it was, you know, like, and not that it, and it, of course it was a little more difficult, but for me, I kind of like the, you know, 400 to 1,000, maybe 1,200. I wouldn't be the guy that would say, let's go 1,800 or let's go 2,000. I mean, it would be cool to do that, but that didn't really excite me all that much, you know. Let's see, M9A3. I have shot, Anthony, I have shot the Langdon Tactical. I have shot the Wilson Combat version. I think I've shot the M9A3. They were not my guns. I think all of them were KS's. But out of all, oh, and I have shot the what is it? The what's the JJ Rakaza shoots, the brand new one. You know, the stainless or the hard chrome, the really, I guess their top line, the 92X Performance. I have shot that. Out of all of those, the 92X Performance is really, really awesome. But out of all of those, probably my favorite as a do-all was the Langdon Tactical with the Langdon Tactical trigger. Now, the 92X Performance has a better trigger and has better features, but it's heavier and all the other stuff. So if that's what you're into, but I think the most usable gun out of all of that is the Langdon Tactical LTT with the Langdon Tactical trigger, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Wilson Combat's really nice too. Yeah, and what's funny, or it's not funny, but the people that, you know, are being charged or attempted to be charged for defending their home and stuff, that gentleman is an attorney. He's an attorney himself. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, they actually destroyed the gate. If you saw the gate, it was mowed down. I mean, they ripped it down. So they didn't just open the gate and walk in. They destroyed the gate to get in. So that's, you know, that's a bad deal there. All right, let me catch up on these comments. 92X, yeah, X performance. Yeah. Yeah, that spotting scope Ranger 10 that he has is super, super nice. The thing is really clear. That's exactly right. The mob should have never been there. You have the right to protest, but not in a gated private community. That's not public. That's a gated private community, and they broke into it. So that's the way I'm looking at it. And I think that's one reason he's going to get off. He wasn't standing out in the middle of a public street or an intersection doing this. He was in a private gated community, and those people had no right to be there. They were not invited there. All right, let's catch this up real quick. I don't have any. I've had a lot of people ask me about this, about Swamp Fox. I really don't have any. I haven't used them enough. I've shot a red dot. It wasn't mine. It was the Swamp Fox. I remember that it was a green reticle. And personally, I wasn't too impressed with it, but I only took like 5 shots with it. It was just at the range, and a person had it. They saw that I had dots on my guns, and they were like, "Hey, you want to try mine?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can try mine." You know, I want people to experience different things. And I tried it, and it just wasn't the clearest thing. Not that I'm saying everything has to be perfect, but I just wasn't impressed with it. And I don't even know what model it was. They could have different models, but as far as their scopes, you know, LPVOs and stuff like that, I have no experience with them. So, oh, I didn't know that the woman was an attorney bald. I knew that the man was, but I didn't, or the husband, I didn't know that the wife was too. Let's see here. That's it. It's actually a great question. If you'll follow me, and I've mentioned it before, I have some stuff being built, or well, attempting to be built right now, some custom stuff, and parts are a huge issue. I spoke with them today, and we've been working on this project for probably a month now, maybe a little over a month, and they only have about 15% of my parts. They're having issues getting basic parts that they normally can get in a day. They're on intergalactic back order. So, as we've said before, during a normal election cycle, just a regular election cycle, ammo, gun parts, guns are going to go up. They're going to, go up a little bit. I don't think they're going to spike. It's never been a spike like it has been now because you've added coronavirus, you've added, or COVID, whichever you want to call it, COVID. You've had, crazy protesting, burning down things, rioting, all of this other stuff, which has all these people scared. And they're going out and buying everything they can. Not necessarily just for normal builds. They're just kind of frantic buying. So my prediction is it's going to go through the election. And it could be a couple of months after the election. But as far as it just dropping and going back to completely normal, it's going to be a ways. I'm probably thinking way far into 2021 before it might normal out. And it also depends on who is voted in. So this could continue. So if you've got any kind of builds going on, be prepared, or any parts that you're really needing, other than stuff you could pick up at your local store. It's super difficult to get. Yeah. Or 2024 if Biden wins. So I don't even know if he would last that long. I mean, he's not right. So I think we all know that. Let's see here. That's actually a really good question. Anyone had any friends? Captain Phil's asking. Anyone had any friends have come over to the freedom side since the pandemic? Helped my little sister's boyfriend assemble his first, R, and his first gun ever to shoot. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I have actually helped some friends buy their first guns, and I posted on Instagram and stuff of what they bought. And also even purchasing ammo. I've had friends in the past that had like one box of ammo, like 150 round box. And I'm like, that's not going to cut it. And when these are close friends. So when I knew that this was happening, I was reaching out to them and sending them links saying, here's a great price. Here's a good quantity. You need to buy it. And some of them purchased it and they were glad they did. And some of them did not purchase it and was like, I'll get it later. And they regret it now that they didn't get it. So I say load up. I just bought some more ammo too. And it was a really good deal. So I grabbed it. I got 1,000 rounds of it. And it's one that most people don't ever buy 1,000 rounds for. Yeah. And Dennis, that you're saying that your wife is applying for a pistol permit, that's awesome. I think everyone should have it, as I've said before. I have seen a lot of the classes just when I go up there on the weekends or wherever to the gun range and gun store, they teach them, and all of their classes have been pretty much sold out. I mean, they're just packed, to the max capacity. So that's great that a lot of people are taking the initiative to protect themselves and at least take get certification. I hope they proceed with practicing and staying up with it and furthering it. I hope when this doesn't, or when it kind of settles down and it's somewhat normal, I hope people just don't forget about it and then say anti-gun again. I hope they stay on our side. And I'm not saying everyone that signed up was anti-gun. I'm sure they're not. Who is voting for Kanye? That's a joke. The only reason he did that, I think, is because he has an album dropping soon. It's all a publicity stunt. I think he did something crazy like that when he did his last album. So, and not that I listened to him, but Pistol Pete, a lot of people have been saying that. I even thought, like if Joe won, that he would step down because of mental issues and someone would step in, so to say. My first guess was Hillary, but my second guess was Kamala. So I don't know. You never know. Let's see here. I did pick up a new toy yesterday. There's more to come on it soon. I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to put any pictures up on it yet, but it's pretty cool. It's something I do not have in the collection. So this will be a whole different deal. It has a custom finish on it. So that's pretty cool. And I don't have anything this color. So it's a totally different color. And I have something close to it, but not this exact color. So it'll be pretty different. And it's not on the budget friendly version if that helps. It's a little expensive. Okay, IBG is saying, wish I'd gone with an M&P a long time ago. Fired my new 2.0 compact for the first time. First 5 were bullseyes at 50 feet. That's awesome. That's really nice, man. M&P makes a great pistol. I mean, they even make great rifles. If you need an entry level AR, they even have some performance center ARs that are pretty nice. But their guns run and they've got a lifetime warranty. They're made in America. I mean, good for you, man. But M&Ps are nice guns. I still have, I think I still have 4. I've got 5 M&Ps. So they do make great guns. I just don't really shoot them a lot because I don't have any of them that are dotted. So, but M&P, that's another thing. I don't know if y'all saw this. Smith & Wesson is introducing their new LE version, and it's going to be their core, and it is optic ready, but it's LE, so it's law enforcement only. I'm like, what the hell? M&P, you're really behind the times. I do know of like 3 police departments that have been running it to test it, and I was like, why don't you, they've been running it and testing it for quite a while. So why don't you release it to the general public? And maybe it might be like weeks after, they say LE that they release it, but I think they're going to get a lot of flack for that because there's nothing special about an optic ready gun that only needs to be LE. That's ridiculous. So, boo for them on that. But, at least they're coming out with something. But many people can get them milled, and they look great milled, and they shoot really good milled. So, if you want your compact milled, that's an easy one. Many people have already done it. So something to consider if you want to do that. Yes, Keith Gregory, I think that is a great idea. If you're a veteran in any state, you shouldn't have to even take your CCW class. Now, I know a lot of CCW classes in states, they do offer a veteran discount. So it's usually half price. So like if the class is, $80, they pay 40, but I still don't think they should have to pay anything. That's my personal opinion. I've said that for a long time. Matter of fact, for a while, there was a gun range that was doing veterans for free, but they had so many do it. I think they ended up losing money, so they had to stop doing it. But I think that should be a given. Okay. Any interest in the 43X or the 48 because of the S15 magazines? Personally, not really. I think it is a great option for a lot of people because it is a slimmer grip and you can get the maximum capacity. However, I've got larger guns like the gun, I carry my P10C, my Glock 19. I don't just have 15 rounds in those. I've got 17 rounds and 19 rounds. So it does give me a little more capacity, but it gives me a little more girth, I guess, so to say. It's not as slim, so I can get my paws around it. But I have freak hands. I don't have hands like normal people. So for anyone else, it is a fantastic idea. Also, I'm not a diehard Glock person. Y'all think y'all know that. I have no issues with them. It's just not my preferred pistol. So I would have other options personally. But I think, I know people that have them and they love them. So they work, they run. Mine have been great, my Glocks. It's just nothing that I would run out and grab. Wheel and Well Armed, how are you doing, sir? Yeah, this one is not orange this time, but I might have something coming that's orange. Yeah, we talked about the 10 millimeter ammo or 10 millimeters before. I mean, a lot of people say 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. Yes, they work and they, can be devastating. I mean, if hit in the right place, anything can be devastating. But honestly, I've seen, 10 millimeter didn't just come out 2 years ago. It was around forever ago. And it just kind of rode that, thing. And then it dove way down and then it kind of went back up and then it went back down. And then, it's just not been consistent where anybody is making a lot of 10 millimeter options where people are like, okay, I'm only carrying 10 millimeter. Now, if you're in bear country or, stuff like that, I can understand to have it, taking it hunting or something like that. And I know people that hunt with it, but for everyday carry, it's not practical for me. I don't think so. It's not practical for most people. For target, it's cool if that's what you want to shoot. I think there's even better options there. And it is difficult to find 10 millimeter at every place. Now, I know since we've been going through this craziness, sometimes you'll see 50 boxes of 10 millimeter on the shelves where you used to see none because nobody's buying it. So it's just it's more of a boutique round. It hasn't taken off and it's fluctuated up and down for years and years and years. And I know a lot, like Ranger's saying, I know a lot of people that like their Glock, 40 or, the 10 millimeter or even the Tanfo. A lot of people have the Tanfo limiteds and things like that, and they shoot 10 millimeters. But, I think it's just more of a fad. You don't see anybody shooting them all the time because of the ammo. And I mean, you could take a 40 caliber and you could, load it up really well, and you could have the same ballistics, in my opinion. Let's see here. Do you have any PCC-like pieces you've been eyeing? I like the Strybog or Scorpion, SP5 or B&T. Yes, I actually have three PCCs. I have a 16-inch, AR. kind of like a competition type PCC, you could say. I just play around with it. I haven't shot any events with it. I have the Scorpion. I have, and the Scorpion I like. It's just, they go through ammo and they run very well. It's just, it is fun. You can kill hogs with it. You can do what you want to with it. And I think for home defense, it's a great option to have a 9mm PDW because you can really keep it on target very easily. A young child could shoot it pretty well as long as they can get the different points of contact. A young woman can. I mean, even elderly people could. I mean, it's a great option for a PDW for home defense and just having fun with it. So, yep, 357 is on par with 10mm. Yeah, there's some nice 1911s that are 10mm. And Scott, yeah, people have said that before. 10mm really shines in a PCC, and I know that it does. I would rather have a PCC in 10mm than I would 45. That's just me personally, because I kind of think if you've got 300 blackout or something like that, you don't really need a 45 personally. But I know it's a center fire round versus a rifle round versus a pistol round. But 10mm in a PCC is going to be super, super expensive to always keep fed. That's why I think in a PCC, 9mm is just awesome. And I mean, with no recoil, you can literally just stay on a head box and you can just pound a head box. I mean, I've just held mine, just and I mean, it'll just destroy it. So you get that many shots on target correctly, you're not going to have any issues. So just my opinion. And you can shoot on the low where, I know prices are crazy now, but you can shoot a hell of a lot more and have more fun than you can with a 10mm. I mean, you can have more fun with a 9 than you could a 10 right now. Yep, this is why we must reload. Yes, I agree with that. Matter of fact, I've got reloading buddies that are having a hard time finding primers and stuff like that, just normal stuff, because people are just buying it all up. But I figured that was going to happen. Some prepared and have 9 million primers, and some had 20 to 30,000, and they're smoking through those pretty quick. So I guess you just never know. Let's see. I think I had something else here. Is there anything that's out there that y'all have seen? I don't know if y'all have seen it. Have you seen the new Taurus PCC? I forget the name of it. It's kind of like Beretta, the little Beretta rifle looking thing. They're trying to make it more futuristic. I'm not impressed with it. I think it's a knockoff of a European type version gun. I can't remember the name of it. But it's, I saw a video of it and I was not impressed at all. It ran, but it just, man, it looks pretty crazy. And it looks really sluggish when it was running. It just didn't look smooth. It looked kind of like it was made with pot metal, and it was just not a nice looking rifle as far as cosmetic wise. But again, it could run great. I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't watch all of the video because I was like, Taurus has a PCC? I didn't even know they did. But anyway, yeah, pretty much everything is on national back order. Still creepy, still creepy, true patriot. Just not seeing the 10mm guns. Always wanted a Tanfo. Yeah, the Tanfo limiteds, I mean, are a unbelievable price for what you're getting. And you can get them in the hard chrome, which is my favorite finish. It's pretty much indestructible. But again, 10mm in some areas, and I saw some people saying that they have tons of it. In my area, we don't have a lot of it because a lot of the gun stores don't stock it because they don't sell it. So it's, some of the gun stores will have like 10 boxes during their normal stock. I mean, what they normally keep in stock, and those 10 boxes could still be there. They just don't sell it a lot and locally around me. The TP9, yeah, no mics. Maybe that's what it's called, is the TP9. It's not a crazy name, but it's the Taurus. Oh, okay, there it is. CT9, the Taurus CT9. Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't hear, but maybe it takes Glock mags or Taurus mags. I'm not sure. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really pay that much attention to it. Oh, they make it in a 40 cal. Okay. I mean, if you need ammo, you can find 40 cal now. It's still out there. No, Bagger Bro, like I'm not hating on Taurus at all. I was just meaning this gun just it looks kind of cheap. But no, I mean Taurus is, Taurus have came a long way. A lot of people like them. They're reliable now. They used to not be. I had a Taurus back when they weren't reliable. So I've had that bad taste in my mouth from the old version, like the Brazilian version. So yeah, the one I had back in the day, it wasn't a cheap gun. It was basically a Beretta clone, and I had a Beretta, but I bought the Taurus, and I had a lot of issues with it. I had to send it back, I think, twice. One time, the last time they had it for, I want to say it was close to 6 months, and I'm not joking around. They sent it back. Right when they sent it back, I sold it. It was fixed. I checked it. They fixed the problem, but I sold it immediately. I didn't keep it any longer. One gun going back twice, that's twice too many. So, but yes, I've heard their reliability is on point now. But if I've got better guns and things like that, if you're on a budget and you're looking for something, if they run and they've been proven, get what you can afford. I would never discredit anyone. I just want you to be armed. That's my whole thing. I am a believer in buy once, cry once. If you're trying to purchase your first firearm or purchase something that you really need, I say rather than buying something inexpensive and settling, I say wait a little bit longer and save up more money and buy what you really truly want. Don't just go, well, I'm almost there and I'm going to buy this just to settle for it. Because sometimes you'll regret it when you get your product. You'll be like, man, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then you're stuck with it. Now you've got to build up all that savings again to get what you really want. So I would say, save up and get what you truly, truly want. But I know people that have bought like 3 or 4 of those G2Cs, and they have 3 or 4, like they have a truck gun, a home gun, a tackle box gun, and they're all those. So they have mag compatibility. So if that's what you're into and that works for you, hell, buy it. All right. Hang on, here it goes right here. All right, Captain Phil saying, I've been jonesing for something 45 ACP. I have too many 9mm and a lot of 45 brass to reload. I'm a big 45 fan. I shot 45 forever. And, I try to get it to where it's going to be some sort of NATO compatibility if possible. Because if something were to happen, it is going to be easier to find. And 45s aren't going anywhere. 10mm has been up and down, up and down, up and down. 45 stays, it stays pretty constant. Sometimes it'll have spikes, but it really doesn't just go away like 10mm has. So I say, if you want a 1911, a 2011, whatever floats your fancy with a 45, grab it. I've got I think I have 4 or 5 45s. I like them. They're fun. And when you just want to go shoot something different, it's always fun to bust out a 45 and just crank away at it. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's so much recoil. 45 really doesn't have this kind of pop like a 357 or 44 Magnum. It has more of a push. And I like to just press the gun out and I like 308s and stuff. A lot of people hate 308s, but I kind of like those big booming rounds. I don't mind recoil. I'm not recoil sensitive. I've got the FNS 45, and it's a fun one. It's 15 rounds, 15 or 16 rounds, and it is a fun pistol. And of course, you can carry it cocked and locked, or you can carry it with a decocker. This is a question I actually get asked quite a bit. What is my opinion on Canik? I think Canik, makes a nice copy of guns. Nothing against them. I know some people throw a fit about Turkish this, Turkish that. If the gun works and it runs, why not get it? And I'll kind of sum it up like this. I would rather own a Canik, and I have owned Caniks in the past. I've had 2 of them. I don't have them any longer, but I had problems with one. It was the first one that came out. The second one I didn't have any problems with, but I did get rid of both of them. And I would rather have a Canic than I would have a Taurus, the newer Canics. So if that's something you're interested in, like the Elite and all those different ones, I say get it. Also, if you're wanting to get into competition, the SFX is not a bad pistol. I feel that it's too light in the front. It's kind of flippy. And if it was weighted in the front, I think they took too much weight off of it personally. So it feels real back heavy with the mag loaded in it. But it's a good gun. I mean, it runs. A lot of people shoot it and love it. So I say get it if that's what you're in the mood to buy. Yeah, all the gun prices. I've noticed guns that were like $450 and now they're like $550 for the same exact gun, just because of the situation right now. So they've bumped prices, and these are prices that really aren't ripping off customers. I think, and I asked the question too to some of the suppliers, and they were saying that they're just harder to get. So they're having to charge more and they're having to pay more to get them. So they, of course, have to pass it on to the customer, which sucks, but it's definitely, people are buying it. Yeah, the Canics have came a long way. I will say that. HK45 is a hoss. But the thing about the HK45, I had the old 45, the USP 45 or whatever, their big boy. I had it like, God, 10 or 12 years ago, something like that, way, way before YouTube. And that was the thing about it. It's a huge gun. It's fun to shoot. It's super accurate. However, I always felt it didn't hold enough rounds, and I was like, why didn't it have more rounds? And when the FNX came out, I was like, yep, there's the answer there. But they both shoot great. So it's whichever you want. And it is a beast. Both of them are a beast. That's what's funny on the 45, FNX 45, I've let people shoot mine. And they're like, how do you put your hand? They can't get their hand around it because I use the large back strap even on my FNX 45. And if you ever put your hand on that grip, it's like a damn 2x4. It's huge. And I've physically had to change the back strap before some people had been able to shoot it because it's just so big. Thanks, Art. I appreciate you, buddy. Have a great evening. Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. FNX 45 TAC with a red dot and suppressor all day long and night over the HK. You do have a lot of features if you get the FNX Tactical. I had the FNX Tactical, and that was back before I was shooting dots and didn't have any suppressors. And it was great. I just never really shot it that much. And then I sold it to a buddy of mine who had suppressors and all that. And then I got into dots and suppressors. And but it's in the past I had bought the FNX 45, the regular. I think it's the it's FDE in black, but it's not suppressed or not suppressor ready, and it does not have the sights. But I can get it milled if I want to. I just haven't yet. And I really love my STI, the one I had dotted and all tricked out. Really enjoy that pistol a lot. But the thing is, you got to tune them. But we're getting kind of close. I just wanted to see if you've got any more questions, throw them in here. We'll be on about another 10 minutes, or I will be on. I say we. It's me, myself, and I this evening. Guys will be back next week. They're tied up with family and work and stuff like that. So, real life gets in the way sometimes. Trying to do the best I can to make sure we keep this thing cranking. Let's see here, Ranger. Hoping to see some more long range shooting videos from you. That was great. Thank you very much, Ranger. I appreciate it. It was fun. I had a great time. I do intend to go back out with my buddies again to do that. It's a lot of fun. We were shooting his 338 Lapua, so every time we pulled the trigger, it was like $7.20. He does reload, and he's still making his, I guess, recipe for some of his bullets. But we did also shoot some Hornady match for it, and I think it's $110 for 20 rounds or something like that. So not super cheap, but it's a freaking nice rifle. His rig that he has, the 338 plus the scope, everything that's on the rifle, he has $15,000 into that rifle. 15 grand. I was just like, holy crap. Thank you very much, Keith Gregory. I appreciate you, brother. And yeah, but he is really big into long range. So if that's your forte, I can completely understand it. He has a really nice 6.5 also. It's a really high dollar 6.5. And I'll be shooting that the next time. I think next time we go out, we're going to take just his 6.5 and do like, you know, the 1,000, 1,200, 1,300, you know, maybe 14, maybe even go for a mile. I don't know. He said he's got some really, really super great recipe for a 6.5, and he can push it on out there. So I think that's going to be fun. Yep, 15 grand in a rifle. I'm not joking. And his 6.5 with the scope and the setup, he has, I think he told me it's right at 9,100 just in his 6.5 Creedmoor. So, but what's funny, he has pistols and some other stuff. He does not have one AR. He does not even own an AR or a 300 blackout or anything. He's got a lot of pistols. But, you know, it's just people like different things. And I did get to shoot for the first time. I've never shot one. I've seen them. I did get to shoot a Triarch. It's in the video. Or no, I show pictures of it. If you follow me on Instagram, I took pictures of it. I got to shoot his Triarch double stack 45, and it is not dotted. But, man, that is one damn accurate 2011. It's super, super nice. It's smooth. It was a pleasure to shoot. And when I was aiming at the berm, I picked out like, I don't know, it was like a little rock area. It was about that big. And I was just drilling it with that 45. I mean, not slow. I was shooting it fast. It's a super nice gun. So I don't know if y'all have shot a Triarch, but if something you're interested in, it's a nice gun. So I was very impressed with it. But any other questions y'all can think of before we get ready to shut this down? Because I started a little early. I figured we'd run it till 8 my time, Central. $100 for a Glock 17. You know, that's the thing about Glocks, especially around here. Nobody has any. Now, of course, they do have the Blue Label program, and they are available through the Blue Label. But around here, a lot of the Glocks are gone. I mean, unless it's Blue Label, it's gone. And you'll find them periodically popping up in stores, but the second they get them, they already have a wait list for them. So there's people like, if you get a 17, if you get a 45, you know, I want this, I want that. And they've got waiting lists for them. So, but I hope everyone has a safe week, you know, and has a great weekend. I'm going to be playing with some stuff this weekend. I'm going to be doing some reviews. I'm testing some new mags. I've been testing them for a little while. AR mags, and I mean, I can go ahead and show them. They're loaded, but it's no big deal. I don't know if y'all have played with these Glock Amend 2 mags. These are their new 34 sticks. They have 34 in there instead of 33. But I've been kind of playing around with these, and when you load them, it's funny. They feel like really thin because they don't have the thicker cover on the outside like the Glock does. So they feel super thin, but they hold everything. And I loaded them. I've had them for like a week in this or a week or so. And then I shot them. They shot fine. Didn't have any issues with them. But when you load them, they just feel weird. They feel cheap, but they're not cheap. I mean, they might be cheap as in price. But it's just different because I guess I'm so used to having that sleeve around a Glock mag, and these don't have that. So, and that's what it looks like on the back. So it still has witness marks, but they're kind of different. So, and they're made in the USA. So, and they have a lifetime warranty. So if something happens or I break them, they'll fix them all up. But yeah, and I apologize, CKM, about the wind on that long range video. Like I said, we had 25-mile-an-hour gust, and it was a constant 12.9. And I remember it because he had that Kestrel out there in its little holder, and man, it was spinning, and we'd look at it and set the scope to the Bluetooth and all that stuff, and that wind was kicking. It was crazy. And I did not have my little mic, so I was trying to yell over that wind, and it was crazy. Plus, I had the locusts, and the locusts were out there, and what are those other things? They're basically locusts, but they were cranking and being loud, so it's crazy in that video. That's actually a good question. What MOA are you getting with your Rogue 308 pistol? To be honest with you, I took it out there and I sighted it in with the Razor, the 1-6, and so I was just shooting groups at 100 yards, to sight it in. And I don't know the exact MOA. I mean, at 100 yards, it was, I don't know, it was like that, but I had shitty ammo. I just brought a bunch of 150 grain stuff. I didn't bring my good 168 Sierra match or anything. So I was just kind of sighting it in, rough sighting it in. And then when we went to the 1 to 800 yard range, I just focused because we were shooting somewhat long distance. So I just mainly focused on the Lancer. So I didn't really play with the Rogue. The Rogue is going to get its own separate thing. Next time we go out there, I'm going to do the Rogue from 1 to 800 yards. Now, I will say this. I have a buddy that's a very reputable friend. He actually has a YouTube channel. I won't say who he is, but he took his Rogue and he was going out to 700 yards plus. And he said, it's awesome. So that's what I'll say. But again, I can't tell you who he is. Yeah, I hear you, Brian. I'm going to run some different ammo. I've got a bunch of different 308 ammo, and I'm going to find out what mine really loves also. So that's one of the tests I'm going to be doing with mine. Man, these comments are flying by. Music never has fun anymore. Tickle the bottom of your feet. Grasshoppers. Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate y'all so much for being on. If you do have any questions after the chat, please leave them. I'll try to answer every one of them that I can. And I am checking Brian to see which ammo I'm going to be testing to see which one mine likes too. Hopefully it likes everything. One thing that I really want to test in it is the 308 110 grain grind hard ammo. And I want to test the TAPS, TAPS, Hornady TAPS, and it's 110 grain, but it's law enforcement only in my area. But I want to see if that can hold really good groups, because as far as a defensive round, I think that would be awesome. And I've got some more ammo coming in that I'll be able to see if it likes also. So we will be trying it all. So thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Got any questions, leave them. Everyone, check out everybody here. If you haven't, y'all have a safe rest of the week and a great weekend. And we will catch y'all next Wednesday. Carry on, everyone. Thank y'all.